The reason why you guys are getting the podcast early in the morning is because I have to go to work at 10:30 in the morning. And the simple fact that I might have plans after work. So this is the reason why you guys are getting the podcast early. So I hope you guys enjoy the podcast. Now, as we are on episode 14 of the Reality Podcast right here on YouTube, I am trying to, for some odd reason, I am trying to think positivity, but then again, I have to be negative. I just have to. Today, or should I say, today. No, should I say yesterday? I apologize. Friday. Today's Saturday. Yesterday, I'm on my phone. And I'm in my room, gathering up all the news and shit for the podcast today. And this tweet came up on my phone that Asuka is in the women's battle royal for WrestleMania. Asuka deserves a whole lot better. And I said this on Tuesday during Smackdown review. Link to that video will be in the annotation on the upper right hand corner of your screen. I said to myself, if they do not rectify the fact that Asuka should be in a big match at WrestleMania, I'm going to be pissed the fuck off. Right now, I am trying to calm the fuck down because I do not want to raise my voice and I do not want to scream. I do not want to fuck up my voice going into work tomorrow. Or should I say later on today? But I have to be negative about this. There's going to be people on social media that say, oh, Asuka deserves this. You know, Asuka hasn't done shit. You think for a second that's Asuka's fault? No. It's Creative's fault. Creative made us not care about Asuka. Same thing with Creative making us not care about Shinsuke Nakamura and Rusev and Bobby Roode, among others. Among others. Yet no one's going to say this in the community. No one is. No one is. Oh, but then the casual fan, the most dumbest fan walking God's green earth is going to say, oh, Chris, but Asuka deserves this. Are you fucking blind? Are you retarded? You do know that they canceled a fatal 4-way number 1 contenders match on Smackdown on Tuesday just for Charlotte to win the Smackdown Women's Championship. Now, there's a report that I will report this on the podcast today. When did Vince give Charlotte the SmackDown Women's Championship? I got a reason why Vince gave Charlotte the SmackDown Women's Championship. Did you watch ESPN on Tuesday? They had Ronda Rousey, they had Becky Lynch, and they had Charlotte Flair on ESPN. So they put they put Ronda Rousey first female to enter the UFC Hall of Fame. Then Becky Lynch puts herself as the man. She won the 2019 Women's Royal Rumble. You know what Charlotte? You know what they put for Charlotte on the name title? As they were showing her face on ESPN? The daughter of Ric Flair. So Vince is like, oh, how can they do such a thing for Charlotte? Oh, let's just cancel the fatal 4-way number 1 contenders match and let's give Charlotte the SmackDown Women's Championship with no explanation or nothing whatsoever. So this is what happens? Is that what it takes to become a champion? It's 2 weeks until WrestleMania? You have to pull the plug on Asuka's forgettable women's championship reign and you have to give it to fucking Charlotte Flair? Because you felt bad about how ESPN treated her when they put her name there on television? Oh, the daughter of Nature Boy Ric Flair. I got a better question to ask you. What the fuck has Charlotte done in the last 8 weeks to get her in the main event spot at WrestleMania? Seriously. I want you guys to answer that question in the comment section. What has Charlotte done to get the SmackDown Women's Championship with just 2 weeks to WrestleMania? And TM said it himself on SmackDown on Tuesday. TM, if you're watching, shout out to you. TM said if WWE was going to give Charlotte Flair the SmackDown Women's Championship with 2 weeks to WrestleMania, why the fuck couldn't you just give us Asuka versus Charlotte 2 at WrestleMania for the SmackDown Women's Championship, and you still give us Becky versus Ronda, the match that was originally supposed to happen? At the same time, you kill 2 birds with 1 stone. You pull Charlotte out of the championship match. Asuka gets her match at WrestleMania. You still get Ronda versus Becky, the match that we always wanted, coming out of Survivor, well, ever since Survivor Series. Who's going to give me that explanation? No one. No one. Now, before we begin with the podcast here, I am going to seriously say this right now. Thank God I sold my WrestleMania tickets. Thank God I did. Thank God I did. And I'm happy about that. Let's just say I made my money back plus a little bit more. Just put it like that. I don't regret selling my WrestleMania tickets. I don't regret it whatsoever. I don't. I'd rather sit in the comfort of my own home in my PJs and watch WrestleMania from my home rather than be at MetLife Stadium for 8 fucking hours. For 8 fucking hours. I do not feel bad if you guys are going to be at WrestleMania. I don't feel bad. You want to know why? Because I don't care. You bought the ticket for WrestleMania, so you go suffer the consequences for being at MetLife Stadium until 2 in the morning. You guys are going to be at MetLife Stadium past Sunday night. You guys know that, right? This pay-per-view is legitimately going to be 8 fucking hours. Between 16 to 18 matches rumored for WrestleMania. And the only match that I'm fucking invested in is the Women's Championship match between Ronda, Becky, and Charlotte. And Triple H and Batista, of course. That's it. I don't care about Rollins and Lesnar. I don't care about Kofi Kingston against Daniel Bryan. I don't care about that. And by the way, let's talk about the Kofi Kingston thing while we're at the fucking topic here. At this point, Kofi got a shot at WrestleMania. To be honest with you, I hope he loses at WrestleMania. I'm not part of the Kofi Kingston bandwagon just like you guys are. I'm not. And last time Mike checked, Kofi has been in the company for 11 years. Last time Mike checked. Kofi has been in the company for 11 years. Does he deserve a championship match after being in the company for so long? Yeah. But am I going to say that Kofi Kingston is championship material? No. He's not championship material. He's not WWE champion material. Now, let's say, for example, if Kofi does win the championship WrestleMania, I still got to ask this question. How long is Kofi going to hold the championship? If you guys think that Kofi Kingston is going to hold the championship like a CM Punk type title reign, you're a fucking idiot. Kofi is going to have a token title reign. You want to know why? Saudi Arabia on May the 3rd. You think Daniel Bryan wants to go to Saudi Arabia after WrestleMania? No. I'm betting money that he doesn't want to go back to Saudi Arabia. That he doesn't want to go to Saudi Arabia. So they're going to give the championship to Kofi Kingston, have Kofi Kingston run through the entire Saudi Arabia event with the championship, and then Money in the Bank in May 17th, of course, in Money in the Bank, that's when you drop the championship right back to Daniel Bryan. Only reason why I would have Kofi win the championship is because of Saudi Arabia. May 3rd, Saudi Arabia. And that's on a Friday, folks. It's on a Friday. Then 2 weeks later, it's Money in the Bank. It's Money in the Bank. Do you think Kofi Kingston is going to hold the championship going into the summer? No. Kofi will hold the championship in the spring. But he's not holding the championship going into the summer. Matter of fact, I would have Kofi drop the championship at Money in the Bank. At Money in the Bank. He's not going to carry the championship into the summer. I give it to Money in the Bank for Kofi to drop the championship back to Daniel Bryan. Only reason why is that because Daniel Bryan might not want to go back to Saudi Arabia, but you got to bet the question, what if he does? What if Daniel Bryan changes his mind and he wants to go to Saudi Arabia for May 3rd? What if he wants to go? Just asking this for example. What if Daniel Bryan wants to go to Saudi Arabia for May 3rd? Then the odds of Kofi Kingston winning the championship at WrestleMania was at the beginning very, very high. It could be very, very low. Because if that's the case, let's say Daniel Bryan is going to go to Saudi Arabia for May 3rd. It's a possibility he can lose the championship, but realistically, logically, Daniel Bryan's not losing the championship. But that's if he decides to go to Saudi Arabia on May 3rd. But let's say if he doesn't, then you drop the championship to Kofi, have him carry it past May 3rd, then at Money in the Bank, you have him drop the championship right back to Daniel Bryan. That's that. I will no longer talk about the Kofi Kingston story until next week. We will do the WrestleMania preview and predictions on the podcast for episode 15 next week. So that's what I wanted to talk about so far here on the podcast. I have a ton of news. Just know, I have a ton of news. I have a ton of fucking news here on the podcast. So sit back, relax, grab whatever fucking beverage you got, grab whatever food you got, sit back, relax, and enjoy episode 14 of the Reality Podcast right here on YouTube. If you guys don't know who I am, I'm of course Chris. Thank you guys so much for tuning back into the channel on this Saturday, March 30th, 2019. If you guys are loving the podcast so far, hit that thumbs up. Comment down below what you guys thought of the podcast so far. If you guys are new to the channel, looking for Raw review, Smackdown review, NXT review, Throwback Thursday, Top 10 Friday, a wrestling podcast, and gaming content here on YouTube, hit that subscribe button down below. Ring those bells, man, for all notifications, man. Check out the content that I uploaded yesterday on Friday. Top 10 greatest tag teams in WWE history. Link to that video will be in the annotation on the upper right-hand corner of your screen, man. Throwback Thursday, where we go over WrestleMania 28. One of my favorite matches on the whole entire show was Taker and Triple H, end of an era inside Hell in a Cell. Link to that video is in the annotation on the eye. NXT, Adam Cole and Johnny Gargano go face-to-face as TakeOver draws near. And Adam Cole was speaking true facts about Johnny Gargano on why Gargano is even in the NXT Championship match at TakeOver New York when they go over best 2 out of 3. Link to this video will be in the annotation on the eye on the upper right-hand corner. Smackdown review. Smackdown review, man. 2 weeks to Mania, Charlotte wins the SmackDown Women's Championship. Everybody's still pissed off about it. I'm okay with it now, but at this point, I just don't care. Link to SmackDown review will be on the upper right-hand corner of your screen. Raw review. Raw was fucking terrible this past Monday. Triple H agrees to put his career on the line at WrestleMania. Link to the Raw review will be on the annotation on the upper right-hand corner. This is the official home of the Reality Podcast, so make sure to follow me on social media to be updated. Twitter, Chris from Loring. Instagram, your boy Chris_WB. And Snapchat, Chris Most Hated. And if you guys are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button down below, man. Ring those bells. Not for some notifications, but for all notifications. Thank you guys so much for tuning back into the channel. Let's get with it. Let's go on with episode 14 of the Reality Podcast right here on YouTube. So first story here. Bray Wyatt. Missing Bray Wyatt. Expects his and JoJo Offerman's baby name. Well, as you guys know, Bray Wyatt and JoJo are expecting a baby. As you guys know, JoJo has been out of Raw ever since, I believe, October or September. I have no idea how long she's been out of action. Bray Wyatt is already a proud papa, but the upcoming baby he is having with JoJo will be her first. This is a big announcement and a very special time for them, even if there will be no Soap Bray for being the daddy. TMZ recently talked about Wyatt and asked him about his upcoming baby. They wanted to know why Kanash, that's a weird name, was the name they went with, and the Eater of Worlds had a very good reply. It's just a cool name. The K is silent. My other kids have a C and a K in front of their names. So this is just a continuation. End quote. Baby Kanash will be here in June. Some fans are now hearing about Wyatt and JoJo's relationship, but they have been together for quite a while. Now that the two will be happy parents soon enough, and Bray Wyatt can't wait to teach baby Kanash how to follow the buzzards. I'm happy for him, man. I mean, I miss Bray Wyatt now. I miss him, but I'm happy for Bray Wyatt and JoJo having their first child together. Speaking of WrestleMania, man, WWE confirms 29 superstars for the WrestleMania's Andre the Giant Battle Royal. Well, in other words, the Andre the Giant Catering Battle Royal. WWE is throwing another Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal this year. The only real mention they made this match on television so far has included the feud with Braun Strowman and SNL Weekend Update hosts Michael Chi and Colin Jost. However, the company is filling up that match in a big way. WWE announced 29 people who will be in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal match. It's very interesting that they left out some key people. Dean Ambrose, for instance, is missing from this list, as the other fan favorites like Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins. So far, the participants are in this match are as follows: Colin Jost and Michael Chi, Braun Strowman, Andrade. This has pissed me off a whole lot more. Andrade is in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Oh, I'm trying to calm down. I'm trying to calm the fuck down. Apollo Crews, Titus O'Neil, Tyler Breeze, Jinder Mahal, Noe Jose, Bobby Roode. Another NXT legend, Bobby Roode. Chad Gable, Kalisto, Grand Metalik, Linson Durago, Bo Dallas, Kurt Axel, Heath Slater, Rhino, Victor, Connor, Ali. Are you fucking kidding me? Somebody save me, please. Shelton Benjamin, Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson, Matt Hardy, Jeff Hardy, Otis, Tucker, and EC3. We will just have to wait and see what happens with this match. Since there are celebrities involved, it will likely be on the actual WrestleMania show, but it appears they might not have much room to add anyone else. Who do you guys think is going to win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal? Comment down below in the comment section. So you add, let me get this straight here. So you add Andrade into this Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Andrade? Seriously? Andrade. If anything, you add him to the U.S. Championship match and you make it a triple threat between Andrade, Joe, and Mysterio. Who else you can add into this? Matt and Jeff Hardy. I mean, they're not going to book the tag team title match at WrestleMania because obviously they're so stacked for WrestleMania. So I understand why you want to put Matt and Jeff on the card. But you gotta put them in a tag team match, man. I apologize. You gotta put them in a tag team match. Who else is in here? That's about it. Other than Bobby Roode, he's forgotten on the fucking main roster. Useless in the main roster. So there you go, man. Those are the participants for the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Speaking of Dean Ambrose, World Wrestling Entertainment's original WrestleMania plan for Dean Ambrose. Now, as you guys know, Dean Ambrose's contract is expiring at the end of April, late April. So there you go. Dean Ambrose is out of World Wrestling Entertainment. It looks like he's being written out of the storyline and only being brought back as someone who can lose that the fans really care about. World Wrestling Entertainment did have plans for him, although you can never say never when it comes to this company. But Dean Ambrose looks to be out of the company when his contract is up in late April. He has a couple shows after WrestleMania, and then he can go anywhere, go wherever he wants. AEW. It is not possible, it's not impossible that World Wrestling Entertainment could be working the fans, but they certainly changed up the direction for WrestleMania. The Wrestling Observer newsletter reports that Dean Ambrose was supposed to get a main event match at WrestleMania against Roman Reigns. Before Roman Reigns' leukemia hiatus, the plan was for Ambrose to face Reigns at the show of shows for the Universal Championship. Reigns was written out for health reasons, and everything from there had to be changed. Of course, WrestleMania is turning out the way that it is, and Ambrose isn't even announced for a match. We'll just have to wait and see how World Wrestling Entertainment will use him for the remainder of his contract. I don't know what to do with Dean Ambrose at this point. I do not know what to do with Dean Ambrose. I really don't. I really do not know. If anything, I'm waiting for his contract to expire. Go to AEW, make even more money. Make a name for yourself in the indies, and then in 2-3 years, when you're really up there in the indie scene, Vince will cry and call you back. That's how it is, man. That is how it is. World Wrestling Entertainment has confirmed another WrestleMania match. This was just reported yesterday. WrestleMania is going to be a very long event, 8 fucking hours to be exact. No doubt it will be worth the price of admission. No, it's not. In the MetLife Stadium, and they're already underway with construction up on the stage. It will also be a very, very long night at home watching the show of shows, and now it's even longer. Like I said in the beginning, if you're going to WrestleMania, I do not feel bad for you. I do not. You paid the price, literally and figuratively. Now you suffer the consequences of falling asleep at MetLife Stadium for 8 fucking hours. World Wrestling Entertainment confirmed that the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal will happen again this year. There are rumblings backstage that it was going to take place, but it makes it official. But this makes it official. It's also interesting that we get to see some of the people who will be in the match, including Asuka, who just lost her SmackDown Women's title back on Tuesday. The Riot Squad are in. They're along with Naomi, Dana Brooke, Nikki Cross, Carmella, Mickey James, Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville, and others. We will also probably have some kind of NXT participation if this year's Battle Royal needs some rounding up with the numbers. I would have Asuka win. Simple as that. I would have Asuka win. Oh, Vince. I don't know how you guys are going to feel about this story, but this story will piss you the fuck off. WWE is considering sending Johnny Gargano to 205 Live. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? 205 Live? Oh my God. Let's hear this one. Johnny Gargano is in an interesting situation right now. He was called up to the main roster in the middle of a big program in NXT with Tommaso Ciampa and the NXT Championship. He was apparently slated for some big things with Tommaso Ciampa on the main roster, even though World Wrestling Entertainment knew Ciampa needed surgery. Now the planned match against Tommaso Ciampa at NXT TakeOver New York has been changed, and Johnny Wrestling is facing Adam Cole instead. Gargano is also still appearing in the middle of his main roster call-up, even though he hasn't appeared on Raw or SmackDown for weeks. Brian Alvarez slated on the Wrestling Observer Live that World Wrestling Entertainment was considering putting Gargano on 205 Live due to Ciampa's injury. He does fit the size of a 205 Live competitor, but this does not make fans very happy at all, including me. Alvarez noted that this was not his doing and World Wrestling Entertainment was just considering it, so it's not set in stone. However, apparently is a possibility, which is troubling considering how 205 Live is generally regarded by World Wrestling Entertainment as just another live hour of programming on the WWE network. No. I do not see Gargano in 205 Live. I instantly said this. He should be on SmackDown. He should be on SmackDown fighting for, the US Championship, the WWE Championship. If you put him on Monday Night Raw, he's gonna be dead in about a month. In a month's time, he's gonna be dead. So Gargano considered going to 205 Live. I'd rather just put him on SmackDown. If I was to pick one brand to put Gargano and Ciampa in, put him on SmackDown. SmackDown needs that big time storyline like they did back in NXT. You can do the same thing on SmackDown Live. There you go. WWE botches Asuka's title run even after losing the SmackDown Women's Championship. Hear this one. Asuka is no longer SmackDown Women's Champion. This title loss to Charlotte Flair upset a lot of fans, but it will hopefully all make sense in the end. It's not going to make sense in the end. It's not going to make sense. Because at the end of the day, Charlotte is going to be in the main event WrestleMania, not even defending her championship. So what the fuck does that tell you? World Wrestling Entertainment likes to put out side plates for fans who collect replica titles. Asuka got her side plates. However, it was a little too late. Despite the fact that World Wrestling Entertainment handed the title to Asuka at TLC back in December, she did not receive her official side plates in the shop until days after dropping the title. It's curious why it took World Wrestling Entertainment so long to get this done for Asuka. Then again, they didn't really treat her title run as anything special to begin with. It does still give her fans an opportunity to collect the Empress of Tomorrow's side plates so they can relive her title run and imagine that she had more successful defenses. Maybe the next time the company puts the title on someone, they can get ahead of the ball a little bit, because it will be very surprising to see who orders those side plates after her run is already over. They never cared about Asuka to begin with. I'm not even lying to you. They never cared about Asuka's title reign to begin with. They never cared about Asuka at all. Coming into 2018, they never cared about Asuka. The only thing we can even remember that Asuka did was good was winning the Women's Royal Rumble last year and winning the championship at TLC in December in that incredible triple threat match, that triple threat TLC match for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Fantastic match. Speaking of shots here, Seth Rollins unloads on Brock Lesnar for only being in World Wrestling Entertainment for the money. I read this report and I just fucking said, yup. Rollins is speaking 100% truth. Rollins and Brock Lesnar are set to collide at WrestleMania 35 in less than 2 weeks. This will be an epic confrontation, but fans would much rather have the Universal Championship around on a weekly basis. Rollins is certainly one of those people who wants to see the champion on a regular basis. He recently spoke to Sporting News, where he explained not only why he thinks Brock Lesnar is a bad champion, but he also took a shot at him for only being in the company for the cash. I even said this before. There's the 2 C's in wrestling: cash and creative. Cash and creative, people. Don't forget that. This is what Rollins have to say, and I quote. I'm an old school man. I'm old school, man. I want my champion to be there headlining all of the events. We go to these live events and Brock Lesnar is not there, and we go to Raw or a pay-per-view and Brock Lesnar is not there. Somebody has to pick up the slack and carry that mantle. I was able to try to do that for a while with the Intercontinental Championship. I took that to the main event of a pay-per-view with Dolph Ziggler and TLC back in 2018. You can do what you want, but there's so much prestige over the Universal Championship. Everybody feels that the champion is the champion. When you got somebody like Lesnar who doesn't really care about inspiring other people, you start to lose a generation. You lose people who are motivated. If I didn't have champions who inspired me when I was younger, I may not have wanted to be a professional wrestler. I may not I may not have wanted to get into this business. There are guys like Shawn Michaels, Triple H, John Cena, Edge, and Eddie Guerrero. And these guys became champions. They inspired people to want to get into this industry and to push it forward. And Brock Lesnar just doesn't do that. He doesn't inspire people. He's in it for himself, and he'll tell you that. He's in it for the money, and he'll tell you that. It's just frustrating for me as a fan of our industry to see it kind of be held hostage by someone who only cares about themselves and making their own money, end quote. Wow. I respect Seth Rollins a whole lot more after that. Brock Lesnar does make a very large sum of money for working with World Wrestling Entertainment, and he doesn't really have to do a whole lot. He just needs to continue being Brock Lesnar, which is a very easy job for him. Seth Rollins might consider that World Wrestling Entertainment has made it too easy for Brock Lesnar, and he plans on making it much more difficult for the Beast Incarnate at WrestleMania 35 at MetLife Stadium. Can you blame Rollins for what he said? No. Rollins has spoke the entire fucking truth about this whole entire thing with Brock Lesnar. It's true. Brock, and I was talking to my best friend Glenn about this. He even said the same thing that Rollins said. Yeah, Brock is just there for the money. He's never on television. He's just there to do what the fuck he wants. He does suplex, F5, collects the paycheck, goes back home. It's the fucking truth. It's the fucking truth. And to be honest, at this point, yes, Brock Lesnar is very valuable, but at this point in time, I just don't care about Brock Lesnar. I just do not care about Brock Lesnar any fucking more. I got another story for you guys, and I'm trying to find it here. Okay. Why The Undertaker is wrestling in Saudi Arabia and not WrestleMania. The Undertaker is likely not going to be at WrestleMania in a way World Wrestling Entertainment would have liked if he shows up at all. This was a decision that surprised some within the company, but he'll be working a Saudi Arabia event in May. Dave Meltzer addressed The Undertaker's decision to work the King of Saudi Arabia show and not WrestleMania during Wrestling Goes to Radio. The Undertaker said he wanted to work a smaller schedule this year, and it seems that this is part of that plan. This is what Dave Meltzer said. And I quote, he's going to be wrestling in Saudi Arabia this year. He's coming back. You know, I guess that money was just too big to turn down, and I get it. That's why he's doing everything that he's doing, and God bless him for that. He's worked really, really hard for decades to build a name and he kept his mystique, which is pretty hard to do in this business, end quote. The Undertaker has worked really, really hard as a full-time superstar in a day and age where World Wrestling Entertainment pulls superstars off the road for nagging injuries. He deserved the time off and to make as much cash as possible. It might be disappointing not to see Taker work WrestleMania this year, but it is already looking to be a very loaded card. I said this on the podcast before, and I'm going to say it again. I wouldn't mind if I see Taker at WrestleMania, at least make an appearance. You don't have to be in a wrestling capacity. Just have him in the ring, have him say a few words, go back about your business. That's it. And to be honest, would I be upset with that? No. Because Taker doesn't have anything else to prove in this business. He doesn't have anything else to prove. He's the greatest of all time. He's went 21-0 at WrestleMania. He's paid his dues. He's done everything else to make sure that he's good for life and to make sure that this company stays on top. Can you imagine The Undertaker leaving Vince during the Monday Night Wars? This company wouldn't even last 6 months after he left. Wouldn't even last the full year without Taker being in World Wrestling Entertainment and going back to WCW. The same company in WCW that told Taker, you'll never get over. Vince took him under his wing, became the greatest superstar of all time. Nothing else to say there. Speaking of Undertaker, why the Undertaker was at the Performance Center last week. Undertaker is always an interesting person. He was spotted at the Performance Center last week, and a lot of fans suddenly got very hopeful that we could be seeing a return of the Dead Man at WrestleMania. Although you never know what can happen, The Undertaker is not expected for Mania this year. We previously reported that this decision actually surprised some World Wrestling Entertainment employees. He is reportedly booked for the next Saudi Arabia event in May. The reason The Undertaker was at the Performance Center was not for him, but was for the benefit of those future superstars currently training at the facility. The Wrestling Observer newsletter reports that The Undertaker and Michelle McCool were there at the PC in order to teach. This is a great spot for both of them to be in, as they can provide a wealth of experience. Maybe this was just a great trainer spot for now, but you never know with World Wrestling Entertainment could offer The Undertaker and Michelle McCool roles as trainers on a more regular basis. It is unlikely that they'll be moved out of Texas because they love it there. But the same was said about Shawn Michaels, and he is now a full-time employee for the Performance Center. Said the same thing to Shawn. Now look where Shawn is at. Shawn is not only working at the Performance Center, he's working for NXT. And if I'm Triple H here, it could be a possibility if he can hire just 2 more people. You can hire Michelle McCool to work with the women and have The Undertaker work for the men. Now Shawn is doing there. If you're Shawn, you want to include The Undertaker on your job, because the battles that those 2 men had, my God, that could tell a story to the future guys that are down in the Performance Center in Florida. So I think this would be good, especially if you're a trainee in NXT in the Performance Center. I would take every single advice you get from The Undertaker himself. And if you're a woman that's down in the Performance Center, you might want to get specific advice from Michelle McCool. So I wouldn't mind that, man, to be honest with you. We're going to continue with the WrestleMania topic here. WWE already planning a big match for next year's WrestleMania. Now, the WWE's biggest show of the year is less than 2 weeks out, and they have a big match planned for next year's WrestleMania already. However, fans won't know what that is until the main event is over. The Wrestling Observer newsletter reports that the plan is also to come out of this match with a clear direction for next year's WrestleMania. This either means that Ronda Rousey will be coming back for 1 year's time to seek revenge for losing, or World Wrestling Entertainment will start a year-long build towards another Becky versus Charlotte match. Either of those stories is a plausible with winner-take-all theme. It was also noted that we were talking about Vince McMahon in 2019 here, so you never know how many times he will change the plan in between now and then. So this is pretty obvious. You know Vince McMahon, he's always changing shit on a daily or weekly basis. The fact that it will be 2020 means that even more time will lapse, and if McMahon continues with his booking trend of changing things up on the fly, it could result in a much different main event by the time WrestleMania rolls into Tampa. I'm going to say this now. I said this, I believe, during Top 10 last week. If you are going to do a year-long build towards next year's WrestleMania, you got to do Sting versus The Undertaker. Now, knowing Vince, he's always changing shit up, especially during WrestleMania season. He's going to change shit up. But if you really want to listen to the fans and you want to listen to your gut here, which I think he's been doing, but that has caused big fucking changes here. I would not be surprised if, let's say, for example, he does Charlotte versus Becky on a year-long build, and you don't do Sting versus The Undertaker. What match is going to be more important? Becky versus Charlotte or Taker versus Sting? That right there could be an easily double main event for next year's WrestleMania. So if I'm Vince, the first person I'm going to talk to is Sting. Oh, Sting, how you feeling? Do you want to come back for next year for WrestleMania against The Undertaker? Sting's going to most likely say yes. Then Vince is going to call Taker. Hey, Taker, how you feel about your retirement match against Sting for next year WrestleMania? Taker is going to be down with that no matter what. So, if I'm Vince here, you can do 2 matches in a double main event for WrestleMania next year. But knowing Vince, that might not even happen. So, I mean, I wouldn't mind a Becky versus Charlotte, but how many times we've seen that match? How many times we've seen that match for the duration of 2018? How many times have we seen this match? We've seen this even at Fastlane back in March. Back a few weeks ago. We've seen this back in Fastlane. We've seen this in Fastlane. At this point, I'd rather book Sting versus Taker and have that year-long build for Taker's final match at WrestleMania next year in Tampa. That's what I'm booking shit. The original plan for Asuka's WrestleMania opponent revealed. Asuka didn't make it all the way to WrestleMania SmackDown Women's Champion. Vince McMahon decided to change things up and give the SmackDown Women's title to Charlotte Flair instead. This unexpected title change meant that the number one contender fatal 4-way match between Sonya Deville, Mandy Rose, Carmella, and Naomi needed to be canceled. And they weren't too thrilled with that decision. The Wrestling Observer Newsletter reports that Mandy Rose was slated to win that number one contenders match and get a rematch against Asuka at WrestleMania for the SmackDown Women's Championship. There was no indication given that Mandy Rose would have been able to defeat Asuka at WrestleMania either. However, the match was eventually trimmed from the WrestleMania card because that really had little interest and instead make the main event even more stronger. Now it appears that Asuka will meet all 4 of these women in the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal if they do end up holding that match, which has yet to be announced. I mean, I already reported this earlier. It has already been announced. Asuka's clearly going to win the Women's Battle Royal. There's just no question. There's just no question. Out of everybody on that list, on the Women's Battle Royal for WrestleMania, who is the one person that's going to be a fucking threat? Asuka. Asuka. So there you go. WrestleMania main event will be winner take all. Now, this is just a rumor. This is just a rumor. We do not know anything about the matchup probably until Raw Monday night in Washington on the go-home show before WrestleMania. The WrestleMania main event got a lot more interesting when Charlotte Flair won the SmackDown Women's title back on Tuesday on SmackDown Live. Now, the big match will have a much different theme. Dave Meltzer noted on the Wrestling Observer Radio that the theme for the match, as told to him, will be winner take all. This means that we could be leaving WrestleMania with a double champion. It was explained that if either champion in the match pins Becky, nothing will change. But for instance, if Ronda Rousey or Charlotte Flair pins each other, then they will leave MetLife Stadium with 2 titles. This is very interesting and could very well mean that we will be leaving the show of shows with both titles on the same woman. Of course, that means that Becky Lynch is out of the running for that, but she can now apparently pick which title she wants to win. I said this earlier. I said this earlier to myself before I even hit record. If Charlotte, and even TM said this on Twitter. So TM, if you're watching, shout out to you, brother. TM even said this on Twitter. If you was going to give Charlotte the SmackDown Women's Championship with 2 weeks to go to WrestleMania, why didn't you book Charlotte versus Asuka at WrestleMania and you still give us Ronda versus Becky instead? I said this to myself. TM, great minds think alike. So TM, if you're watching, shout out to you, brother. But oh my God, bro. My fucking goodness. At this point, man, seriously, just fucking serious, bro. I don't know. We gotta wait till Raw Monday night to see what happens. Now that Charlotte is SmackDown Women's Champion, we just gotta wait till Raw Monday night to see what happens. Shinsuke Nakamura has reportedly checked out of WWE. Good for him. Shinsuke Nakamura is a former NXT champion, but he hasn't done much on the main roster recently. He was teased for main event spots, and 1 year ago, he was headed into a huge match against AJ Styles at WrestleMania after winning the Royal Rumble match. However, this is not his current spot on the main roster. Dave Meltzer noted this situation during Wrestling News Radio. Nakamura relocated his family to Florida when he took the job with World Wrestling Entertainment. They like it there, so it looks like that's all he's in for now. This is what Dave Meltzer said, and I quote, "He's not doing anything. He's checked out. He's just out there to his family. His family likes Florida. He's out there to surf. He's kind of on his pension now. You know what I mean?" End quote. World Wrestling Entertainment has a real talent with Shinsuke Nakamura. They could push him as a rock star once again, but it would have taken someone convincing Vince McMahon to do something with him. In the meantime, Shinsuke Nakamura will tag with Rusev and enjoy surfing when he's at home, because apparently Florida has better waves than Japan. If I'm Nakamura, I'm waiting for my contract to end, and then I'm having Cody Rhodes' number on speed dial. That's the first thing I'm doing there. Do I have any more stories here? Okay, here we go. When did WWE decide to give Charlotte Flair the Smackdown Women's Championship? This is going to be an interesting one here. Charlotte Flair surprised a lot of people when she walked away with the SmackDown Women's title 2 weeks before WrestleMania. There were some people who weren't very happy about this decision, and Becky Lynch said that Asuka deserves better. That does not change the facts. Dave Meltzer commented about his decision during Wrestling News Radio, where he revealed that World Wrestling Entertainment has been kicking his idea around for a while. However, the actual decision wasn't made to go with the change until Tuesday afternoon after ESPN. This is what Dave Meltzer said, and I quote, "Everything in this program has consistently been shifted and changed." So, this is obviously a response to something, however, Vince woke up and, now the idea of both belts at stake or both belts involved in this match is not new, okay? But Vince decided to go with it today. It's not like someone came up with this idea this afternoon and Vince goes, "Great idea." This has been around. I mean, it was around. I don't know. I remember someone sent me the thing and it was like, what do you think of this idea? This wasn't even someone important at all, but it was out. The decision was made today. So yeah, people saying there's no storyline build. Well, they weren't even going to do it until today. So how is it going to be a storyline build when you change direction again? End quote. We'll have to wait and see if the company decides to put both titles on the line in the WrestleMania main event. It could very well be the first stage of unifying the women's titles in World Wrestling Entertainment, but that hasn't been confirmed. One thing we do know is that they certainly seem to have that graphic ready for Charlotte Flair holding the SmackDown Women's title in the main event. Graphic ready when the time came. Yeah, people say that that Charlotte Flair is not the Roman Reigns of the women's division. This is a fucking joke. This is a fucking joke. This is a fucking joke. And to be honest with you, as long as we get Becky to win the SmackDown Women's Championship at or the Raw Women's Championship at WrestleMania, hell, fuck it. As long as Becky Lynch is holding both belts at WrestleMania, I don't mind it. I don't mind it. Have Becky Lynch tap out both Ronda and Charlotte at the same time. That'll make Becky Lynch into a bigger star than she already is. Speaking of Becky Lynch says Asuka deserves better after title loss. Asuka is no longer SmackDown Women's Champion, just 2 weeks before WrestleMania. She lost her title to SmackDown Live to Charlotte Flair in a tough match, but it didn't come out without controversy. Becky Lynch knows a thing or two about Charlotte Flair, muscling herself into matches that she doesn't belong in. Very true. The man commented about this match and was not happy about how it went down. If anything, she agrees with a lot of fans that Asuka deserves better. This is what Becky said, and I quote, She did less to earn a title shot than the WrestleMania one. Asuka deserves so much better. End quote. Asuka will not get an automatic rematch because that is not in the policy anymore. Therefore, it will be Charlotte Flair, SmackDown Women's Champion, aiming for the Raw Women's Championship at WrestleMania. Becky Lynch is also in that match and will fight to make sure that Flair doesn't leave the show of shows as a double champion. However, things could have gone down a lot differently for Asuka, the Empress of Tomorrow. Oh man, have the mighty fallen. Have the mighty fucking fallen. Speaking of Charlotte Flair, Nia Jax takes a shot at Charlotte Flair after winning the SmackDown Women's title. Nia Jax walked SmackDown live like the rest of us, and she was plenty surprised by what she saw. Charlotte Flair showed up, and a SmackDown Women's title match took place out of nowhere. No build, no fucking anticipation, no nothing. Asuka was surprised to figure out who a WrestleMania opponent would be, but the company had other plans. Charlotte Flair won the SmackDown Women's title, which really changes the dynamic of the match. That will be the main event of WrestleMania. Nia Jax apparently didn't appreciate how this went down and clapped back in a big way. This is what Nia Jax said, and I quote, "Damn, all the sacrifices made for this match to happen, I hope it's all worth it. Two women have earned this opportunity, and one still doesn't even get it." End quote. You have to see Nia Jax's point as she takes up for Asuka. Now it looks like it will be a champion versus challenger at WrestleMania. However, the match only seems to be for the Raw Women's title for now. End quote. I'm telling you. I'm fucking telling you. I just hate this company with a dying fucking passion. This isn't the same company 20 years ago. It's not the same. It's not the same anymore. I think I have one more. Thing to go. Yeah, I think I have one more story to go. Then I'm gonna fuck up out of here. Why did WWE change Mustafa Ali's name? Mustafa Ali's name is now just Ali. He was the latest superstar to get his name changed and shortened by World Wrestling Entertainment, but then he didn't even get to shout his new name on SmackDown Live this week. Dave Meltzer commented about this name change during Wrestling Observer Radio, where he proposed why World Wrestling Entertainment made his change. Apparently, Vince McMahon could have just been thinking that his first name was getting by the way of the fans supporting him. That's the answer that you give us? Really? This is what Dave Meltzer said, and I quote, "It's like, someone made a call. They think Mustafa will keep him from getting over, probably. So a first name is going to stop you from getting over? Makes no sense." The question was asked if Ali's former name was too close to the name Mustafa, which is the name from the Lion King. Meltzer commented back saying, "I don't think Vince knows about the Lion King. I mean, I wouldn't expect him to. I think maybe he doesn't like the name Mustafa as a babyface. I'm going to guess. Who knows?" End quote. Nobody knows why World Wrestling Entertainment makes this kind of decision, but it is certainly interesting when they do go this direction. At least they were able to make this change before putting out the line of merchandise for Ali. What do you want me to say? What do you want me to say? So, a first name from the fucking Lion King is going to stop Mustafa Ali from getting over? Think about it. Seriously? They did this with Andrade. They did it with fucking Rusev. They did it with fucking Cesaro. I wonder who's next. Bobby Roode? What are you gonna call him? Bobby? What are you gonna call Johnny Gargano? Johnny? Or Gargano? What are you gonna call fucking Adam Cole? Adam? Seriously? Come on. That's bullshit. I'm telling you, Vince has to fucking go. I'm not gonna hold you. Vince has to fucking go. And I'm getting the fuck up out of here because I gotta get ready for work. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed episode 14 of the Reality Podcast, man, smash that like button. Comment down below what you guys thought of the podcast today. And if you guys are new to the channel looking for Raw review, SmackDown review, NXT review, Throwback Thursday, Top 10 Fridays, a wrestling podcast, and gaming content on YouTube, hit that subscribe button down below. Ring those bells for all notifications. Check out Top 10 video. Top 10 greatest tag teams in WWE history. Link to that video will be in the annotation on the upper right hand corner of your screen, man. Throwback Thursday. We go and review WrestleMania 28. Undertaker and Triple H, Rock and John Cena. Hell in a Cell. Taker versus Triple H, end of an era, Hell in a Cell. With Shawn Michaels as a special guest referee. Link to that video will be in the annotation on the upper right hand corner of your screen. Check out NXT. NXT review is live on the channel right now. Make sure you guys go ahead and check it out. Smackdown review, go ahead and check it out, guys. Link to that video will be in the annotation, and also Raw review. This is the official home of the Reality Podcast. Make sure to follow me on social media. Twitter, Chris from Roaring. Instagram, your boy Chris_WB. And Snapchat, Chris Most Hated. And if you guys are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button down below. Ring those bells for all notifications. I will see you guys tomorrow for Sunday. I think I'm going to give you guys episode 4 of my career. Let me see. I mean, do I even? Yeah, I think I'm gonna give you guys episode 4 tomorrow. Yeah, I'm gonna give you guys episode 4 tomorrow of my career. Yes, I will. I will give you guys episode 4. So this will be the uploads for next week, for WrestleMania weekend. Tomorrow, which is Sunday, you guys are gonna get episode 4 of my career. Monday, you guys are gonna get Raw. Tuesday, you guys are gonna get Smackdown, Universe Mode, and Smackdown Live. Tuesday. So Tuesday, expect a double upload. Wednesday, you guys are going to get NXT. Thursday, instead of Throwback Thursday, I might want to give you guys NXT TakeOver preview and predictions. Or matter of fact, you guys are going to get Throwback Thursday. Friday, you guys are going to get... Oh no, I forgot about that. Yeah, it's gonna be difficult for me to do this for you. All right, so let's just do this now. Tomorrow, you guys are gonna get episode 4 of my career. Monday, you guys are gonna get Monday Night Raw review. Tuesday, you guys are gonna get a double upload. Tuesday, you guys will get a double upload. You guys are gonna get Universe Mode for SmackDown Live, and then when I come home from work, you guys are gonna get SmackDown Live review. Wednesday, you guys are gonna get NXT. Thursday. You guys might get a double upload Thursday. I want to give you guys Throwback Thursday. Preview predictions. No, Thursday, I'm going to give you Throwback Thursday preview review on the afternoon. And then around Thursday night, I'm going to give you guys preview and predictions for NXT TakeOver New York. Friday, there will be no top 10 next Friday. Next Friday, there will be no top 10 next Friday. Because next Friday is NXT TakeOver New York. I'm going to be at Barclays Center in Brooklyn. When I come home from TakeOver, you guys are going to get a review and results video on NXT TakeOver New York. Saturday, I'm going to give you guys the podcast Saturday. Next Saturday, episode 15. Next week, we're going to go over the news and notes going into WrestleMania Sunday, and then we're going to preview... We're going to do a preview and predictions video on WrestleMania card. So expect a long episode of the podcast next week. Then next Sunday, I'm going to repeat this now. I am not going to give you guys, next Sunday. I will not be giving you guys WrestleMania review next Sunday. You guys are going to get that review Monday afternoon before Monday Night Raw, before the Raw after WrestleMania. So remember that. Next Sunday, you guys are going to get... No, tomorrow, Sunday, you guys are going to get episode 4 of my career. Monday, you guys are going to get Raw. Tuesday, you guys are going to get a double upload Tuesday. Universe Mode for SmackDown and SmackDown Review. Wednesday, you guys are going to get NXT. Thursday, you guys are going to get a double upload Thursday. Thursday, I'm going to give you guys Throwback Thursday and NXT TakeOver New York preview and predictions. Friday, I'm going to give you guys an NXT review, NXT TakeOver review. There will be no top 10 Fridays next week. Saturday, I'm going to give you guys the podcast, episode 15. We're going to go over the news and notes and WrestleMania preview and predictions. Then next Sunday, WrestleMania Sunday, I will not be reviewing WrestleMania on Sunday. I will be giving you guys that Monday. Sunday, you guys are going to get my vlog video on WrestleMania Access that I'm going next Saturday on April 6th from 1 to 5 p.m. So there you go. So the only thing that's regular on this channel that you guys will not get next week is top 10 Fridays. You guys are going to get everything else except for Top 10 Friday. So be on the lookout. It should be fun next weekend. I'm gonna give you guys a vlog next Sunday. I'm gonna vlog it. I'm gonna vlog it with my phone. And I got my tripod on me that's holding my camera right now as we speak. And then from there, it should be fun. Access should be fun next week. I'm looking forward to WrestleMania next weekend. I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. Thank you guys so much for watching. And I will see you guys tomorrow on episode 4 of My Career Mode. Till then, talk to you guys later.